Hello students, welcome to Pathak's Computer Academy online classes. In the previous video, we learned about DQL commands where we saw select command in detail. Today we will see DML commands in detail. So the contents we covered, first of all, we describe about DML. And then we discuss three main important commands under DML, that is insert command, update command, and delete command. So let's start. So DML stands for data manipulation language. As the name suggests, with the help of DML commands, we can manipulate, that is, we can modify the data stored in the database. Either you can insert new data in the database, or you can change the existing database, or you can delete the data in the database. That's why three things has to be considered: insert, modify, and delete. Second thing, with DML, we cannot change the table structure. We are basically dealing with the data that are stored in that table. Clear? Third thing, in DML, whatever we do, either insert or modify or delete, they are not automatically saved. We have to explicitly commit the statement so that all the changes that are done are permanently saved in the database. It means if the data is not committed, till then there is a chance if you want to roll back your command, you can do this. If mistakenly, by mistake, data is deleted. Okay. And now you thought that we have done the wrong thing. There is a facility in DML commands that we can roll back these statements that are executed previously. So I think it is very clear to you what is DML. DML commands are used for manipulation. We are not dealing with the table structure, and data are not saved permanently. Okay. Now, some basic list of DML commands are insert, that are used to insert data into a table. Update, if you want to change the existing data. For example, now your address in earlier times are somewhere else. Now you are living in some other place. Then you want to update your record. That are done with the help of DML command. Delete. Now, if you want to delete the records from the table. For example, if an employee is working in a company in particular department and now he is moved to another department, then the data is to be deleted from the previous department table and updated into a new joining department. Okay, so we are going to discuss these three commands one by one. First one is insert. Insert command is used to insert a new row in a relation, that is table. And for this, insert into command is used. Okay. It loads the value passed into all the specified column. There are two ways through which you can insert the data, either by using only values, or if you want to specify the column name, then you have to specify the column name and the value against each column you have specified. One thing has to be remembered, if you are going to use only values, you have to supply all the values against each column of the table. Otherwise, it will show an error. But in the second method, you can skip some columns by not including column names. Okay. Sometimes there is a possibility that some person have no middle name. Then you have to skip that column. For these purposes, the second methodology can be beneficial. Whatever I discussed are written over here. If there are exactly the same number of values as there are columns in tables, then the values are given in accordance with the way the column were created. What it means? It means if you have added name first, then address, then city, the same philosophy has to be supplied with insert into. First of all, the value related to the name, value related to address, and after that you have to supply the city. And the syntax is very much simple. Like here, insert into whatever the table name, then you have to supply the clause values, and in bracket you have to supply all these values one by one by inserting commas. Here I have shown you insert into student values 1 comma Ram. Okay, so I'm going to show you with the MySQL editor. I have created the student table. So I'm going to show you the description about the table, that is schema. For this, you have to write down DESC space table name and then execute that statement. Here you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns are there. So if you want to use the first methodology to insert, you have to supply insert into table name is student, then values. And after that, you have to supply, first of all, roll number. Roll number is of integer type. Then You can enter any value without using single inverted comma. Then name, for example, ABC. Then address, Mumbai. Now, here I am going, we have to use for varchar inverted comma. ABC, then comma, inverted comma. Here I have to supply Mumbai, comma, English marks out of 100, let us 80, and then Hindi marks, let us 75. Now semicolon. Now I'm going to run this. Here you can see that in the lower part of the editor, you can see that my command is executed successfully. I can check whether it is inserted or not. I have to use DQL command, select asterisk from student. Now I have to select this particular command and run it. So here you can see that there are a lot of data with my new inserted value 20, ABC, Mumbai, 80, 75. I think now it is very clear how to insert new data into an existing table. One thing you have to remember, if you forget to insert values, what will happen? Okay. X, Y, Z. Now, here you will see that an error will occur. Here in the lower part, you can see that the data is not executed. The statement is not executed. Why? Because column count does not match. So if you are going to use first methodology, you have to supply all the values against each column. Otherwise, error will occur. Now the second thing, insert into column with values. So what is to be done? Again, the syntax is very easy. Insert into whatever the table name, then in bracket you have to supply the columns for which you want to supply the values, and then values, and in brackets you have to supply all the values against each column. Okay. So here I have chosen two columns, roll number and student name, and supplied two values. But in here, in the second statement, we supply only one column and then one value. And I already told you why it is necessary. Okay, sometimes there is no need to insert a particular value against a particular instance. So here, what is to be done? I have to supply column name. First one is roll number. Let us check DESC student so that it is easy for me to insert the name of the column. Roll number, comma, S name, comma, address, comma, English marks. That's it. Now, I'm going to run. Now here you can see that my command is executed successfully and the data is affected in the table. I have skipped the value of Hindi marks. Here, the default value is null. So, if I try to check all the data of student table, then what will happen? Here you can see that 21 XYZ Mumbai 80, but Hindi marks is null. Okay. So for these purposes, the second method is used. Now, next very important command is update. There are various occasions when we need to edit your data that are already existing in the table. So the syntax is very simple. Update, then we have to supply the table name and the clause name is set. And whatever you want to change the value, either one column or more than one column, you have to supply all these values by inserting comma, and then you have to supply where condition for which row you want to change the value. Okay, and if you unable to insert the where condition, then all the rows will be updated. Clear? So you have to be very careful for which row you want to update the values. So now I'm going to show you. Let us. I want to insert Hindi marks for XYZ student. Okay. Here null value is passed. Now he appeared in the exam and passed the exam with 70%. So what is to be done? I have to supply update command, update table name, that is student, and then clause set and column name. And the column name is Hindi marks is equal to 70 for what? If I did not supply where clause, then in all these rows, Hindi marks are reflected with 70 or updated with 70. But you did not want to do this. You want to affect only one row. That name is XYZ. So given is where S name equal to what? XYZ. Now you will see that only one row is affected and updated. Now I am going to run this. Again, my command is successfully executed. And here in the lower part, you can see that one change row is shown you. Now I'm going to show you whether the data is updated or not. Yes. Now there is no such null values. In the XYZ, Hindi marks is updated and the value is 70 inserted successfully. Like this, you can do various other things. Okay. Now, update single column. Here, if you want to change only one column, then what is to be done? Whatever I have shown you in practical. Now, multiple columns can also be updated with the help of comma. And if you omit the where clause, then all the data that are, all the rows that are inserted are affected. Okay, so you have to be very careful whether you want to change all the rows or not. Okay, now at the end, sometimes you need to delete the data. So, how to delete that data? Syntax is again very clear. Delete from where? From name of the table and where condition. If you did not supply where condition, all the rows that are present in the table are deleted by automatically. Okay. Now, I want to delete these two records, ABC and XYZ. So, what can I do then? Delete from student where S name equal to XYZ. You can easily see that data is deleted. One row affected. Now, if I am going to show you, data is deleted. Okay, but this is only for temporary basis. To do the permanent changes, you have to supply what? All these things that I have done, insert, update, delete, are roll back automatically if we did not commit all the works. Okay, clear? So you can see that. So for this, you have to supply commit. Commit is affected. Now, if I close my database and then reopen the database, all the changes are permanently saved. Otherwise, without commit statement, if I shut down my database server and database, and after some time I opened that database, then all the changes that I have done are rolled back and the previous stage shown to me. Okay, so you have to be very careful. So here you can see that delete single record. So I already shown you. Delete multiple record if there are various persons that are lived in Allahabad, then multiple rows can be deleted. Here I am going to again show you. First of all, these are the datas. Now, here you can see that for Allahabad, there are two persons, Ashish and Prakash. Now I want to delete these two rows. So what is to be done? I have to use delete from student where address equal to ALD. Now, multiple data, multiple rows are affected. I'm going to run this. Here you can see that 3 rows are affected. There are 3 students whose address is Allahabad. So if I'm going to check here, you can see that now Ashish and Prakash are not shown over here. Okay. And if you want to delete all the records, if you want to empty the table, only empty table are existed, then you have to supply delete from table name. That's it. So that's all for today. Today we learned how to insert new rows, how to update existing rows or existing column data, and then how to delete the stored data. Okay. How to modify the column name, या column structure or table structure, how to delete the column. These are related to the schema, and to perform these operations we have to deal with DDL commands. Okay, so there is a basic difference between DDL and DML. If anybody asks about what is the basic difference between DDL and DML, you have to say two things. First one is DDL command are used for schema purposes, while DML command are used for data that are stored in the table. The second difference is that DDL command is auto committed. You have not to supply commit command separately. But for DML command, you have to supply commit command separately. Otherwise, whatever you have done are rolled back. Okay. So that's all for today. In the next class, we will start Unit 5. That is Introduction to Emerging Trends. And in this emerging trends, first of all, we will see AI and Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. I hope you enjoyed the session. This is little bit a higher side of the session, but I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.